Hello, everyone, and welcome to the weekly Oracle Wisdom. My name is Natalie Sadie, and happy fall, everybody. Fun fact, I used to hate fall as a season in Australia, and here in the US, I love it. I love the temperature cooling down a little bit here in LA. I like the cooler nights. I love the beginning of Halloween and the holidays, and it's just magical. So I'm very excited that this time of the year is upon us. I hope that everybody went okay through the eclipse that we just had, and we obviously have another one on its way. But hopefully everyone's faring quite well and ready to take on another week. So let's get to this. I feel like my cards are all leaning to the divine feminine today. I don't know why, but it's where I ended up. Okay, so the first card that we're pulling is trial and error, experimenting with your life, inexperienced in a job or situation, willingness to try new things, exploring all possibilities. So I don't know if you're in a new situation and you're feeling some kind of way because it's unfamiliar to you, you need to persevere. You have to remember that in order to become great at something, you have to move through that trial and error period in time. I always hate starting new jobs in new locations because it's uncomfortable. We don't know the people, we don't know where everything is. But for weeks, we've been getting is it the new beginnings card or potential? And it's the little tree growing out of the money, and there's all the little sprouts. When you're starting new projects, we have a vision for how it will go. We have business plans, we have all the things in place. Just know that if something doesn't work, it doesn't mean that it's over. And every time something that you try doesn't work, it actually helps you. It helps you know what is and isn't working and what is the pathway that you need to go down. So just don't be discouraged if you're having to sort of figure this out and it's not the most comfortable. That when things are uncomfortable, that's when we have the most growth. And as much as that sucks, it's the reality. And also there can be so much excitement and joy in that trial and error period, because as much as it's uncomfortable, those moments where everything comes together and it works, it's magic. Up in the air, not knowing where you stand, situations, decisions, still undecided, uncertain about something, lacking stability. So I feel like these go together perfectly, because when you're moving through this, things can feel incredibly unstable. And so you need to navigate that and not get lost in your head and let fear win, because it's these moments where fear will come in hardcore and start making you doubt yourself. And if you don't know where you stand with another person, my biggest thing is I always go and have a conversation. Again, it can be uncomfortable having to go in and say, hey, we need to talk, or I've got a question I need to ask you. But if you get clarity at the end of it, it's all worth it. So I feel like this is just a moment in time where we have to embrace the uncertainty. We have to learn to let go of the desire to control everything, because we want to be in control of our lives. We want to decide which direction we're moving in, when it's all happening, and just things aren't always that way. So get comfortable in the discomfort. It's all going to be fine, and everything is going to end up exactly where it's meant to be. I feel like moments like this, where there is this instability, where there is this discomfort, you need to embrace what's going on. You need to embrace it. You need to become comfortable in that discomfort and enjoy the ride. Burnout, having too many irons in the fire, not taking care of yourself, lack of control, all work, no life. So if you are busy working on something, and this could be because you're feeling uncomfortable, because you're not feeling like you're in control, because everything is feeling uncertain, you're pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. If you do that, you're just going to make yourself sick. So make sure you take time to take care of you. You don't, maybe you're already feeling the burnout, but take this as a sign that you need to do everything in your power to avoid that feeling of burnout. I I love astrology. I love obviously readings with cards and all of that. But something that I was taught when I was very young is you can have a reading and be told this is how things are going to play out, because in this moment that's a direction things are taking. But everybody has free will. You can get the messages that are coming through and say, well, that's not how I want it to play out. So I am going to make different choices or better choices. And you have to, so understand that just because somebody tells you something is going to happen or going on, that doesn't mean that's how it has to play out. So just keep that in mind. Don't let things overwhelm you. And if you're not already feeling burnt out, take that as a just as a note that you need to protect yourself from getting to that point. So 2 cards jumped out: coldness, absence of love, love life is blocked, frozen in some area of your life, emotions buried deep within. So, I mean, this totally relates to the first couple of cards in that feeling frozen in some area. I mean, if that's the fear coming through, fear will stop you in your tracks. It will stop you from proceeding. It will stop you from being brave and really pushing through. So this is where you need to, I guess, you need to tap in. Oh, having one of those days. You need to tap into your emotions and tap into your deeper self and figure out why you're feeling what you're feeling. And this is also where you're responsible for what you're feeling. So if you're stuck with fear, it's time for you to put that in perspective and be able to push through and get to the other side. If you are closed off, because if this is related to love for you and you're feeling like it's not working, you need to have that introspection and figure out if it's you that's closed off to anything that the universe is offering you, or if you've got, and that could be because you're saying, well, I'm not ready for love, I don't want it. It could be because of past traumas. And that means if that's why you're holding back, you have to do the work to be able to work through that and let go of it and allow the next person to come in. So you have complete control over this. So if this is how you're feeling, it's time to get busy and do the work and tap into all of that and start figuring this out. And I feel like to do this, that sort of work in between the two eclipses that are happening is the perfect time. Eclipses are such a powerful time in our lives each year when eclipse season comes around, that take advantage of these energies coming through and being able to do the work and advance yourself further. I mean, we need all the help we can get. Am I right? Okay. So the other card that jumped out is dice. Time to take risks, getting out of your comfort zone, leap into the unknown, adventure awaits. So again, these two jumped out together. it's time to dive right in. And if you're not looking for love, if you are not feeling like you're ready for it, it doesn't need to be that you need to find love immediately, but it's about opening yourself up to the possibilities of what is around. Don't close yourself off. All you have to do is work on you, your heart, your openness to what the universe wants to bring in, and trust in the divine timing of everything. Now, if you're in a relationship, maybe there's a lack of communication. Maybe you're feeling some kind of way and you need to have that conversation and you're blocking it because it's uncomfortable. Roll the dice, have the conversation. It could be the best thing you've ever done for yourself in terms of being able to move the relationship forward, move it to a deeper level, get a better understanding of your partner and also yourself. We've got Ambergeddon in the chat saying, after the full moon lunar eclipse, I felt like I was in a dark night of the soul. Yesterday and today were much better. I have to say, I felt kind of similar. It was a lot. There were things going on. And if you watched Full Disclosure, which of course is only available on Highvibe, I talked a little bit about not being fully in my human design, and I let my emotional self get carried away, and I was texting people and trying to find solutions because fear won out. I let that voice take over. So everything that I'm telling you to do, I am telling myself to do as well. Okay. Fluidity, staying flexible and adaptable, keeping an open mind, going with the flow, being teachable. So this comes back to the first couple of cards that we pulled out, trial and error and up in the air. It is not a time to be so rigid that you're not able to change course, or you're not able to just understand that the journey to get to your destination, it doesn't have to be the road that you initially pictured. It could be a slightly different path that gets you to the same spot or even beyond that spot. So it's just not a time to be so rigid that you can't hear what other people are telling you. You don't want to shift in anything. It's not going to be productive for you. All right, I'm going to pull one more. And also, I just keep seeing the line, keep an open mind. People often judge others because we have our own biases in life and we see what other people are doing, and it's because we don't understand. We might think that we know the situation, or we might think we know the answer to things. The reality is we don't know what's really going on for anybody else. We might have a snippet of information, but we don't have all the information. So it's just something to just hear what people are saying, hear the experiences that they're talking about, and then move forward without judgment. Just hear them without putting your own stuff on them. And the final card that we're pulling from this deck is business, work, entrepreneurship, career moves, working on your career success, earning money through work. I feel like this is a continuation on from last week's reading where, as I mentioned earlier, we pulled the potential card that what you're working on is coming to fruition, but you've obviously got a lot of hard work to do. So this is where you have to make sure you're not burning out. And this is also where you need to not let fear step in and take over when you're stuck in this place of trying to figure things out and feeling a little discombobulated and stressed about not having everything in control. Keep working. It's time to focus and just get all of that moving, keep that hard work going whilst keeping a balance. Okay, so we are moving on to Oracle of the Fairies. From the moment I opened my eyes today, this deck kept jumping into my mind. So This is what it shall be. Okay, the first card that popped out is motivation. When spring approaches, the flower fairies urge you to spring into action. If there's something you've been merely thinking about doing, they say get busy and do it. So I still think this comes from feeling discomfort around the trial and error energy and not feeling settled and not feeling sure. You need to keep yourself motivated and you need to keep going. You cannot let the fear and talk, um, the fear and the chatter that's in your mind talk you out of getting things done. And can I say, around the eclipse and sort of yesterday was a better day, today's better again, but the lack of motivation has been real. So it's, to me, that's a reminder that we have to keep going and push through. And sometimes when we're struggling with all of that, if you can push yourself to move forward, all of a sudden, once you start, everything's not so bad and not so overwhelming. The second card is protect your dreams. You are the guardian of your precious dreams, and they are safe in your care. Keep them close to your heart until you're ready to release them. So, what you're working on, if it's not time to announce it to the world, just keep it to yourself. Work quietly. The whole world doesn't need to know because let me tell you, the whole world is full of judgment. This is why, with this card, I made a point of talking about not letting our biases and our our damage that we've received in this life, our baggage, I should say, that is with us that maybe we haven't released yet, we haven't done that work to stop us from placing that judgment on others. And it's because we don't want it placed on ourselves. Other people don't understand why we're making the decisions we're making. There are plenty of people that ask why I was moving to the US. You know what? I can't even fully explain it. There was a calling, there was an opportunity, the stars aligned, and I went for it. And it was such a wonderful decision. I am so glad that I did this versus staying stuck where I was. But not everybody understands. So keep those things to yourself until it's time to unveil it to the world, because by then, when it's released, you're ready for it to be out there. You're prepared for anything anybody has to say because you've done the work. And the final card that I'm pulling from this deck is believe in magic. Open your eyes and see the magic that's all around in nature. The fairy of the northern light says you are part of nature, so you too are magical. What you're working on is completely possible. So all this stuff about diving deep and working through our stuff, we all have to do that. That's part of the human experience. But you are capable of creating absolute magic and capable of manifesting everything that you want. So if you do the work and if you stay true to who you are and what your calling is, it's all possible. And the universe is absolutely there supporting you and cheering you on. So just keep going and keep that in mind as you're working through all of the emotions that are coming up. So we're going to finish up with the Rainbow Oracle. Jasmine, Safi. I love this deck. I just love how pretty they are. Again, all the colors are pinks and purples. And I just feel divinely feminine this week. So take that as a sign that that's what we need to tap into. There are moments where we need to tap into the masculine side of ourselves, but this week I think it's about softening up a little bit because there is so much strength in softness, but tap into that divine femininity within you, whether you're male or female. Okay. Mind shift. Struggle dances in the tune of the mind. Ease flows with the tune of the heart. So this is all about getting your head and your heart aligned. I feel like this is a big week in terms of shadow work for what we're hanging on to, what is holding us back, whether it be in business, in love, even in taking care of ourselves. If you are hitting a point where you were burnt out, if you are hitting a point where, you're just going, and it's this dogged determination, which I love a determined heart. But if you're doing it and sacrificing everything else, why are you doing that? So it's time to do the work, figure that out, and align head and heart. I'm going to pull one more. All right. Guidance. Spirit guides and celestial beings work with you. Trust in the gift of guidance. So, I mean, that's our second confirmation. And it was the last card from both decks that the universe is with us and helping us create this magic. And I really feel that it's just a moment in time where we are being asked to level up, and we are completely capable of it. But don't judge your leveling up next to anybody else's. The way we move through all of this is different to the person before us. So please be patient with yourself. Any bit of work, even if it's the tiniest bit of movement, even if it's the tiniest realization that you have when you're looking within and figuring out why you've had these roadblocks, why you're a little bit shut down, just having that recognition is a step forward and, on the path to being able to level up. So don't be too hard on yourself. Be gentle, be kind as you navigate this week. So I hope this resonated with some of you or all of you. As I always say, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. I will be back next Monday with another weekly oracle reading. Tuesday, I will be doing the monthly reading for October. As much as I'm excited about being in fall, I cannot believe we're already at the month of October. And I am going to stick with the pick a pile format that seemed to work really well for everybody watching. And I loved hearing about which piles you all picked, because those readings blew my mind. It was the first time I'd ever done a pick a pile. And as for Gemini Rising, because I've been getting a lot of questions about when our next episode of Gemini Rising is going live. And the reality is we have a whole bunch of incredible people lined up. We're just securing dates. So as soon as we have that, I will put that on the Instagram and Facebook pages so that you know what dates to look out for. Anne and I are super excited for these guests because they're just amazing, all with very different gifts and areas of knowledge, and it's just super exciting. And for everyone on Highvibe, I will be back Friday with David doing full disclosure. And if you're not on Highvibe, you need to be. All right, everyone. Thank you so much.